creates a, once the record is done,
Yeah.
we can always act on something.
We'll open this meeting of May 26th. Let the record show that all the selectmen are present except John Scanlon. Sounds like he's coming up the stairs. Nope. He's on his way. This is an extremely abbreviated meeting. We will be adjourning at 5:30 and going to the Southwick School for question and answering session on the Pines Community ordeal. All right. You're, is that the Concord Monitor? Yeah, I just got off the phone with the Licensing Bureau. Okay, come on up. Yep.
Okay. So, Joyce and I have in your
Right here.
or to be signed file, there's 2 copies of an extension for the 2 agreements with Casella Waste Management. No, they don't. No. And what we're looking to do is, because of timing issues, approval issues, which are at this point mutual approval issues, and working out some additional wording because of the private roads, we need to extend this agreement. And Casella was looking for maybe a 10-day extension or so, but after talking with the chair today and looking at the schedule for June, it seemed as though it wasn't realistic to have it so early in June, so we wrote up a 30-day extension, and I've spoken with Casella, good with House, where it's basically extending the conditions that are currently through the end of June, and that it would expire on July 1st, or once we sign a new agreement. The only changes to our existing agreement that are noted in this are the expiration date, of course, and then also the rates for both curbside collection of solid waste and curbside collection of recycling, which are at the new rate that we will be paying anyway in June. So that's before us, number one. And there's some information that I have also on the private roads reckoning on where we are with private roads and waivers, but throughout this entire negotiation process with Casella, the private roads were always going to be in the contract. They were always going to be in the appendix, as they were with the original one back in I don't know what year with Bestway. What's different, though, is that because of liability concerns, most haulers and contractors like that won't go onto private property without some type of waiver of liability. Now, this isn't for negligence. If they do something negligently and damage something, then that's on them and their insurance. But if by no fault of their own they're driving down a private road and let's say the private road wasn't constructed to town standards, for some reason it's private, we haven't taken it on, and there's a culvert damaged or something like that, that without being indemnified from that by the property owner, they could be sued to have that repaired. So they would be responsible for that. So what they're looking for is consideration from the town help to be able to achieve these waivers, get these waivers from property owners of the private roads that we've listed, and there's at least, I don't have a firm count, but there was, it looked like about 30 private roads, and it'll be worded in such a way that there'd be a 6-month period to get these waivers. And they are also not going to be unreasonable in that if there's a situation where, say, a property is in probate or some such thing, but there's multiple owners, that they're not going to be unreasonable about not picking up on a particular road because of something like that. But they would note that and just, ask for the town's help, that once there is a resolution to probate, or once there's an identified owner, that, that we assist them just by introducing, why there's a waiver needed to help them achieve it. What I didn't want the town to do was to be in the middle of this, to where the waiver has our letterhead or anything like that. So this would be between Casella and the property owners. And it does differ a slight bit from other types of commercial trucks that go down these roads. I discovered this afternoon that, say, for an oil truck, when you call for an oil delivery, you are essentially giving permission for the truck to come and deliver on your property. So it has to drive there, it has to traverse over your road to get there, which is different from Casella, because Casella doesn't specifically have a private individual's permission. They're operating under the auspices of the town contract. So that's why they would need these waivers. We have an example of the waiver. I reviewed it yesterday. I thought it looked fine. It's very simple. It's very easy to understand for anyone, and again, it doesn't prohibit someone suing them for negligence. If they cause damage because of their driving or overweight truck or whatever it might be, they would be responsible for that. This is just in the event that, by no fault of their own, the road is damaged because it's a large truck. So that's kind of where we are with the private road issue.
Question, though,
Yes.
that materially changes the initial bid. The initial bid was to provide services as previously done. Since I've lived here since around '96, half of my neighborhood's private roads, DPW picked up trash, and when we went to private contractors, they've all done it. The question's going to come, I know the road I live on is owned by the developer who did the subdivision, so are you going to hunt down the heirs to his estate because he passed 5 or 10 years ago? I have rights of passage because it's a right-of-way. I have no ownership. And I don't know how many other roads in town are going to be in that same situation where they did a subdivision and they may not have deeded the roads to those people residing on it.
Well,
Well, I don't think it changes the
Well,
service. They're still going to be providing.
Who's signing off for Bestway on a road that's owned by the estate of someone that was subdivided in 1969?
but if it's owned by an estate, wouldn't the estate be paying tax on it?
That's another question I'd have, because the road and the beach area, which is owned by that estate, has never been taxed.
Okay, I can speak to this from my own situation. I live in an old subdivision that none of us own the road. In our deed, it says we have the right to pass and repass. All of us, and able to, in order to get a mortgage or refinancing or anything, we have to sign a letter. We all sign a letter, and it goes to the bank who was ever requesting it, that we are responsible for maintaining the road.
I don't recall when I did my mortgage and refinance ever having to sign off,
I think there's ways around it. I think we can figure out a way.
but I don't own the road, Joyce. It still legally belongs to the estate of Albert Laranger.
How do you guys get the road fixed?
We do it on our own.
Okay. That's how we do. We do the road.
I understand. I don't own it. I'm
But
just,
he's making a point legally in the legal world. If they only have a deeded right-of-way and somebody else, so that he has a deeded right-of-way over somebody's property, that would be like, I have a backwoods lot, I sell it to somebody, I give them a deeded right-of-way over my land. I own it. So it's, but as you said, Casella said that they would work with us with those type of probate estate issues. So.
well, this
maybe
would have been, this is long past probate, because I
Yeah,
forget when
this
he
is-
died 5 or 10 years ago.
This is similar.
Why would we not tax the beach or the road?
That's a question, the beach area especially.
Lauren should be made aware of it, but for this purpose.
right.
We better make note and see how they're gonna, because really, technically, you would have to hunt down the heirs.
Right, yeah. And maybe
Can help them do that.
faced with the responsibility of the road repair or ownership, maybe they would, prefer to just pass the ownership to the property owners. You never-
We may have a deed in the file that shows where it was transferred.
Right, but all this is doing is a private road access agreement. Is the person signing this is giving Casella permission to come pick up their garbage. That's all it's doing.
So basically,
It's relieving
go ahead.
That's relieving Casella of liability.
Yeah, that's different than just saying, come down my road.
Right. So if they don't legally own the road, then they couldn't really technically do that.
Well,
It's the same thing with our mortgage. We don't legally own the road, but we're telling them that we maintain it, and if something needs fixed, we fix it.
Right.
Well, that's what it
So the
sounds like.
question is, do those who have the right-of-way to go over the road want to accept the liability of repair if Casella damages it, because Casella isn't going to repair it? That's the question you ask the property owners.
except in case of negligence.
Right.
If they're negligent, they'll repair it, yeah.
That's your question to the property owners. Are they willing to accept that liability?
So something like that may be a special, special exception. I did mention there are some unique situations. I wasn't aware of all the specifics of that, but really what they're looking for is just consideration in being able to get the town's assistance so that, that their liability is
So-
limited on these private roads.
What happens in this instance, and we go through an extension and you folks help them get waivers, 30 streets. So, I'm just throwing out a number here, but let's say, 18 of those streets, they don't get waivers from. Does that change the contract value?
No, because they would still be picking up their refuse. They would just have to find a different location.
Yeah, but
With their refuse.
their whole bid is based on how long it takes
Curbside
them to
pickup.
pick it up. If you're grouping large quantities in one location, they're not traversing as many miles, so
It's
it's
not-
going to
it's-
reduce their time.
These private roads, like 8th Street, B Street, 6th Street, I mean, it's not a lot of...
It's no longer becomes curbside
No, but if you're
pickup.
doing the Gem District, you've got
Getting
a fair amount,
pickup. They're still getting...
and it's the time getting in and out of those little streets, too.
But technically, the question is valid if they couldn't get
Materially-
waivers for any of the private roads. That is a good question.
You've got-
Then they'd have, everybody would have...
Well,
to-
it's an unknown, obviously.
Yeah.
I would think most people that
when we
have
get
the
there.
ability to provide a waiver, I would think would want to, so they wouldn't have to.
So this extension clearly is so that we could get the details worked out, and then you're
That's
going to
right.
have a 6-month period working with them to get the street. Until then, they're going to continue to
That's
do...
correct. Yep,
pick- the
continue to pick
pickup.
up as normal. The other thing that was brought up today was, and this is what happens when, it's kind of like we came to terms, but until it's signed, then sometimes there's, well, gee, what if we had done this, or what if we had done that? I know we've gone through that, and I think they've gone through that some, because they're very concerned about the change in the pay-as-you-throw, and requested that there be some mechanics to be able to come back to the town and say, hey, you're killing us here because we're collecting 30% more solid waste than we were before. We have to send out 2 trucks now per route, so on and so forth. But, in other words, if something changes materially, they want to be able to come back to the town and make a request for, additional money.
But the problem with
So-
that is, in the past, they've done 2 trucks some weeks, other weeks they'll do it with 1, so I don't know.
And I mentioned this, and also, and I said, well, if that were going to happen, then the town would need a way to get out of the agreement, on an annual basis, that we would have to have some means to say, no, we're either unable or unwilling to pay your rate or renegotiate it, but I also went through the whole aspect of it. If you're now 60% recycling on a truck, 40% solid waste, you just switch it. Why can't you do that? You know, you're not going to be picking up 30% in total in the town. That would be very, but your mix might change, but it should somehow equivalent amount of tonnage. And I also expressed that if your recycling is less, you're going to be saving more money because it was costing you money to get rid of our recycling tonnage, and which he admitted. So basically, nobody knows what's going to happen with the pay-as-you-throw. And I told him that the petition would come back to reinstate it. But what he and I had kind of verbally discussed today was that on an annual basis, which I thought the board might like, having the ability to get out on an annual basis if you so choose, but they would have to notify us by January 1st that, you know, our tonnage is way out of whack and that they need to renegotiate the dollars to pick up our curbside collection. And that if we say no, you know, we can't do that, you know, we've got until the end of the contract period that year to get out, to terminate it without any penalty. So over the course of the 4 years, the 2 base years of the contract and the 2 renewal years, they would have the ability to request a change of us, and we would have the ability to say yay or nay and terminate the agreement if we chose. So that's something that they've requested, and I said I would bring that forward to the board. You know, and again, no one really knows what's going to happen with pay-as-you-throw. So we'll just
Make a motion, sign extension.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Thank you for the explanation, both of you.
yes, yeah. Any of the haulers require.
There's 2 of them to sign.
We just voted to sign this extension, so
30 days.
It's a 30-day.
Okay.
do we have a list of the private roads yet?
One's going that way, one's going this way.
They're confusing us.
The back of the copy of the contracts I gave you at the last meeting, the appendices were.
I didn't, maybe I put it someplace different. The one I had, I just had the pollards and stuff. But I'll look again. I may have, no, I probably
Should
stuck it
put my
in.
name in the same spot that keeps
I
bouncing.
probably stuck it behind that one instead of.
Always different.
Yeah. I'm gonna sign in someone's space one of these days.
Sorry. I didn't have the assigned space there.
They're coming up. They're on their way.
Oh, I was going alphabetically.
Cool waters of the lake.
Left to right, top to bottom.
Someone must be.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
All right.
I'll find it eventually.
I'm a fussy pencil. I'm gonna give you selections.
All right, Joyce, you have anything in public? We're gonna go right into the, I do have something that just came through as an email that I'm gonna add to the attorney-client. I'm gonna make a motion to go into non-public, RSA 91A:3, that which discussed in public would adversely affect the reputation. Right. Here a second?
Second line.
Is this personnel?
No. It's, where is it?
Attorney-client.
No, in addition to attorney-client.
Oh. Okay.
Do I, second roll call vote?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. So Gail, it's attorney-client and non-public.
Signature? I can't tell, there is a signature on it, but I don't know whose it is. 'cause it
Make
might
a
be the
motion
signature.
to seal the minutes of the non-public session as it pertains to legal matters permanently.
Until the matters are resolved.
Until the matters are resolved, then.
Second.
That
Roll
other
call vote?
signature? Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Okay, so this voucher isn't signed by the,
Recipient?
you know,
They usually aren't. No, they are signed by the recipient. Here, it's redacted out, right here.
okay.
That's Tim's point, because it's not signed by the recipient, the case person.
Oh, I see, okay. All right, I
right.
don't care about that.
Is there any more business to come before us
I
that
have
absolutely
something.
needs to be,
I
okay?
I have a couple things. Number one is the Old Home Day thing for the Citizen of the Year. Best of my knowledge, we still haven't responded to the Old Home Day Committee with our...
Yes, we did.
Did you? I didn't see it. Who, did I sign it?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, all right.
And I said the formal
Wow.
thing,
Then we're good.
yeah.
We're good. Okay. And the second one is, I sent you out the report on the costs of the tank repair. Came in a thing called invoices for the checkout, and I finally got on top of that today and sent you all a copy. So please take a look at that, because next Thursday we have to kind of decide how we're going to vote, because I've called a meeting tentatively for the 10th of June. And I still don't know exactly what the short-term fix is. I heard it was like 12 or 13 grand, but the long-term fix is in excess of 100,000, and the tank may need to be replaced, and so on and so forth. The quote for this year is $1.80 for unleaded and slightly higher for diesel, but are we gonna like make a quick jump, or there's a lot of questions, so please read that, and
Yeah.
I'm going to try to get other information as to options and the short term, what's it gonna cost to run a year, so that we can get it for $1.80 and make a plan, as opposed to having to run around and do it at the last second and maybe not get the best deal. So that's my whole thing.
Next week's meeting, are we meeting here at 4:30 and then going over to the Booton Center? Or are we meeting over at the Booton Center and staying
What
there?
time is the Booton Center?
7.
I would suggest that we have plenty of stuff to keep us busy between 4:30 and 7, I would think.
So
is the
stay
Booton
here or
Center?
over there?
Meet here and go there?
Right, but why are we at the Booton Center?
The public hearing.
Oh, I didn't know it was there.
And then would you adjourn after that, or come back here?
It's 7 to 8, unless we
That was
have
my
something
dumb
to
Earth
back
shattering?
here for, yeah. So we're coming here first, did I hear that? And then we're going over, okay, got it.
I have something really quick. This thing from Jennifer Mars, I communicated with her. The sampling for Ernie's
Oh, yeah.
pretty much done, that she pretty much assumes is done. So we'll be continuing to sample for arsenic.
What does that cost? Because they don't pay for that.
No, they don't pay for it. Well, it's $30 for the sample, but what are we paying Crederi, and is this something we want to bid out?
We don't pay Kaduri, we already signed a contract with Kaduri, and the state pays him.
State is no longer going to pay him because it's not coming out of the
Right.
petroleum fund.
Oh, that's saying, I haven't read that yet. So
Oh, yeah.
we're done with the
We're
petroleum
done with the
fund?
petroleum
Okay,
fund.
so
But
we-
arsenic levels are high, and we have to continue to test for that, and the state does not pay for that.
My communication with Jennifer was, is I said to her, well, at what point are we going to decide that this is naturally occurring? Because that's what it could be. So that's a determination that could be made early on, and then we wouldn't have to continue with those tests. But the big question is what is Crederi going to charge us? And what do we have to do to determine?
Cheaper to have like Eastern Analytical, somebody local do it.
Okay, but the question is, what do we have to go through to determine that it's naturally occurring so we don't have to continue to do it at all?
And Jennifer didn't have an answer for that?
No, that's, she referred, said, well, you take that up with your consultant, Kaderi. So, we should have a conversation with them to see what would they charge to make that determination.
So the petroleum fund is done then?
It's done. There's no petroleum, which would leave you, because early on, she had said the arsenic could be naturally occurring. Well, if there's no petroleum, then the arsenic must be naturally occurring. So if we can get that determined quickly, no money.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we're rolling around in the grass eating the dirt.
Speak for yourself. How do you know I'm not rolling in the grass, eating the dirt? But some kid is.
All right. Anything else? Make a motion, we adjourn?
Second.
Those in favor? All right, we'll see you over there?
I got something.
I'll be there late.
When do they start? 6.
Someone get the camera?
Picture of your daughter too, that flag was amazing.
She is a good
Oh, yeah? I was excited, I was gonna say, oh my gosh, about that.
Right